Welcome back to Intro to Programming with C++. Today I'm talking about comments and white space. Both things that, comments and white space are both things that do not affect how the compiler treats the program, but makes it a lot easier to write programs and to read other people's code. In this programming environment, all my comments are listed in green. I want you to note one thing here. I actually have two different ways of putting comments in a program. One that we have is typical here is I have a // and then whatever follows on that same line is a comment. But up here I did a multi-line comment, and I have a /* or asterisk to begin the multi-line comment, and that can actually take place over many lines until we have an asterisk / again to end it. You see, if I take that out of there, it is looking at the entire program as being comments, which is not really all that useful right now. So I'll put that back in. Now I have those all as comments up above. Two different ways of doing comments. So comments do not affect how the program runs, but it makes things a lot easier for somebody reading your code or for you yourself. Right now we're not writing very big programs, but eventually you will be, and you'll want to know the purpose of different parts of your programs, especially as you're programming something over many days, many weeks, possibly months later. You'll be coming back and looking at the code, and you might not remember what you were thinking as well as you think you would. Comments will help you remember what you were thinking at the time. So over here, my comments are kind of bland right now, but they serve a purpose. Here I'm declaring variables, down below initializing variables. Now I'm printing out a computation. And we have all these things. I don't necessarily put comments on every line. In fact, I think that just clutters the program. But for a block of code, I will often put comments in. What purpose does this piece of code, this sort of paragraph, accomplish? And no, it's not paragraph in the terms of writing, but paragraph in the idea of a complete thought. So that's comments. White spaces are the extra places where we hit enter, or we indent, or we put things on different lines. Those all also just impact how the program looks to the writer and somebody else looking at the code, not how the program operates. Indentation will become more and more important as time goes on. Notice here everything between the opening brace and the closing brace of the main function is indented. That makes it easy to spot where the main function begins and ends and tells me that everything else is inside of there. That may not seem like a big deal now, but eventually you'll have other functions and you will have blocks of code inside the main function that will have their own braces and information inside of them. What's useful then is every time you have something inside braces to indent that and match up starting brace and ending brace at the same level. Now, just to demonstrate how unimportant to the compiler all these comments are, let's get rid of some of this information. Let's get rid of all these blank lines too. Nice and compact. I tend to like that as a mathematician, and it still works, but it's dry. Here's another line I can get rid of, and a little hard to read. I'm going to continue getting rid of some of this unnecessary stuff. I could even go further than this, but I think I'll make my point. The line's so long it's going off the edge of my screen. Let's go with that. Oops. That's where my compiler is. Okay, found it. It works the same way, but it's not a very readable code. It's really hard for the program author or somebody else reading the code to see what's going on here. So use of comments and whitespace actually is rather important, even though it doesn't directly impact the operation of a program.